do I put my hands?
Yeah, so I don't know what to do. And, like, that's the thing. Like, I sit here and I'm, like, you know, playing with my hands and, like, doing this. And, I mean, you know, it's probably not okay for TV, but this is my podcast. I'm not getting fired. So,
Yeah.
you know, we'll be all right. Don't be nervous. You're just talking to me. If I were to come by the property and sit in your office, we'd easily talk for an hour about random shit.
True story.
That's all we're doing.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
You sure?
Yep. We're involved. I've signed my name.
Okay, well, so after, like, a bad day at work or a really nervous visit to a podcast, is there, like, a go-to drink, something you wish you were drinking right now?
I think I would like to have the Terramana by The Rock with a splash of some margarita mix.
Okay.
Just a splash.
Yeah, that's it's a good tequila.
Do I look stupid?
No, you don't look stupid. So yeah, I mean, there's a level of nerves, but it's just
Level of nerves. Did you see him run out?
So Camy, you've been in the industry for a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
How did you end up in the industry?
So I was a mom looking for a change. I was in the medical field, and phlebotomy just wasn't my jam anymore. And I have an amazing, I'm nervous. I have an amazing cousin who's a regional. No, I have an amazing cousin who's a regional, and she's like, hey, I have this property. You know, I think, Leeson, you would do good in it. And she brought me under her wing. I met some amazing managers that mentored me and definitely has helped me grow into who I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a conversation. We're good. So it's funny because it's like, I don't know that I've met someone that was like, you know, always wanted to be in multifamily. It's stories like that. You kind of end up, or it's, you know, the job you had in high school or college, or, you know, and then kind of once we sink your claws in, you never leave.
No, there's no leaving. It sucked me in. I'm in the warp.
And so now you're a property manager.
Yep.
How many years you been in the industry? Yeah.
I have been in the industry 10 years this year.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Started off at leasing, assistant manager, and then I got sucked into the property management position.
Oh, and you've been at a couple of different properties as a manager too, right?
Yep. I've only been with just only a few properties. I've just gone with like buyouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm with my company now for about 5 years now.
If you had it all to do over again, the progression, is there anything you would have done differently or?
No, because I had some really good mentors. So I feel like the little mistakes that I did helped me become who I am. And with their guidance and the support and just always being there, because we all know property management is quite a beast. Yes, it is a beast. So just having them has really helped create that future that I want to continue growing in. Advice
For those people that, you know, just got their cousin to give them a job as leasing agent?
Yeah, do it, have fun, absorb everything you learn. It's going to be a lot. I know I'm a old school person, but get that notebook out, take notes, get tabs, do whatever classes that the apartment association offers. Next Gen is phenomenal. I mean, I was the chair.
So there you go. So here's the plug, right? You chaired our first Next Gen committee.
Yes, so I was able to have the honor of doing the Next Gen. I enjoyed it. I've met so many other great mentors and future leaders of our industry, and that's really like the foundation to help get involved with your Next Gen, like help be the voice in our industry that we need.
Well, yeah, so I think there's a lot of good things that come out of the Next Gen committee, because I think, you know, just like the industry struggling to get people in the industry, the apartment association struggles to find, you know, quality people to be active in the apartment association. And I feel like the Next Gen committee is a good place for that. You know, the trade-off being that, you know, those that are newer to the industry can come and, you know, make contacts with the industry. It's very much who you know, not what you know. And very so true. That allows you to get in front of some of those people, and then you get to learn what they know. So now, you know a little more, taking those classes, those sorts of things.
And it's really fun. I mean, it's great, especially at a hard day, you have some craziness that goes on. Again, that's why we drink in property management, but it's nice to know that you have an outlet to go to and kind of vent and talk to, other people in our industry that understand the struggles you're going through. So it's like, oh, this just happened, and they're like, well, wait, this just happened. So it's just a nice little outlet to have.
Yeah. Well, I know as the Next Gen committee too, you guys did a lot of kind of new events that we'd never done before.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite event?
Well, I mean, I'm a little nerd. So my favorite was when we did the bingo and we were able to do the scholarship. So like if someone won, they can get their cash or the NLAP. So it was really neat for them to be able to do that and give away that education to help them grow. So that was my favorite thing because, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I mean, the designations are definitely helpful. And same thing, it's the content, but it's also the other people that are in that class. The NALP at the kind of lower levels, it's the people that are teaching the class that you get to meet and network with. I think there's lots of benefits to those sorts of things. And I think we touched on some of that with Lindsay in one of those podcasts. But I'd like to get some of the CAM instructors on and talk about CAM stuff because I feel like that's a big concern. Did you do your CAM?
I haven't done my CAM yet.
But are you scared like everybody else?
I'm very scared. No, for real, I'm scared.
Yeah, well, and so I think that's it. I think there's a lot of people are nervous about the CAM being too difficult. And I think for people who've been in the industry for a while.
Because like we do the formulas every day, we do the math every day, we do the budgets, we do all of fair housing. But I don't know, it's just when I get under a test or a podcast, I may get a little bit scared.
Well, there's nothing to be scared of here. There's no test at the end.
Yeah, and I'm just like rolling back and forth in my
well,
chair.
That's me. I can't. Yeah. For those that watch the video, I never sit still, and I never know what to do with my hands either. So.
But no, I definitely do know from one of our calls with. I'm now a co-chair of the education board or the education as well, and I do know like we're going to be offering some more besides CAM. Like the next one up. Brain fart and sorry, but it's the one for like if you want to be a regional manager and everything like that. So that's really awesome. Like we are really getting involved to help our industry grow and starting from all the way from the bottom to the top like a Drake song. We are here.
I don't know who Drake is.
That's
we
it. I'm
talked
done.
about it at the beginning. I'm a giant loser. If it's not country or Kelly hasn't made me listen to it, I don't know what it is. So, like I said, one of the benefits of the Next Gen Committee is kind of that new perspective. There's younger people, new ideas. One of the things that I think that you're really good at is the social media side. I follow a lot of the property pages. It's not just your property, but it's several within the company. I like, Halloween, you had the scream mask on. You're doing a leasing tour of an apartment, and every corner they turn, here's, the scream mask in the bathtub and behind the fridge, and it's hilarious. Any tips on those kinds of things that you've kind of got the most success out of?
Well, I just like to relate to like what's going on in the world. And I knew Scream was about to come out, which if you haven't seen it, is pretty decent. But, I like to relate to the audience. And, everybody gets to see the same tour of they play some fancy little, tropical music and you're just zoom, 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 toilet bed. Like put some fun into it. Add a little bedazzle to it and just think outside the box. I love my favorite quote is always be a highlighter in a box of crowns.
Well,
stand out. So always think about it, whether it's, a new hot TV show or a new movie or a fun song that's appropriate, of course. Bring that into the atmosphere because those are what your viewers are most likely into too. Like, the Scream Mask or the Michael Myers or we've done... God, there's so many.
People falling in pools, jumping in pools.
Yeah,
those things.
The pools. We did a skit with you.
We did.
We did, yeah. We did a little you skit where it's like, I see you. You want to live at
that's
the community. And then there was like me peeping through. But we've done like, Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home, and I had one of my leasing agents dressed up like Dorothy, and it was just a fun little skit. We even had a little Toto dog.
Now, do you find that gets more traffic to the apartment to lease, or does that entertain the current residents and kind of help with retention?
No, I
both?
definitely think it's a little bit of both. I do know the residents love it because they're like, oh, I love that. It's so much fun in here in the office. And too, like, it's not just like you see our video, you come in the office with me. We're going to have a good old time too. So it's that. But I do think that it does help rejuvenate that traffic to come in too and bring some extra people in. And they're like, hey, I saw your video. And they come in and it's fun stuff. And, but even not just the videos, it's just the post. Like, you can be creative. Just think outside the box. Whether it's you dress up your WOW refrigerator in Valentine's gear, or, you do fun decorations in a mini model, or do something like that, or just the team. It shows the camaraderie. So if they see you guys bonding, they're going to feel at home too, knowing that, wow, this is my home. Look at my team, like they take care of everything for me.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody knows it's cheaper to keep them. So, resident retention is a good thing to focus on.
Very true. Yeah. And the resident events too. I mean, I know we all know the evil word COVID. And it's definitely put a damper into our fun events because, I miss having the DJs and the pool parties and all that stuff. And then now it's like everybody's wearing, face masks and with the PPE gear and like, pre-bagging everything and virtual wind downs, which has been fun because, we're able to still engage, but I miss the human contact.
So you have done some virtual events.
Yeah. It's like we start weaning off of it. And we're like, yeah, full blown, let's do it. Raw. And then it's like, face mask.
Yeah. Are the virtual events are relatively well attended? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like we do like wind downs or like Thirsty Thursdays, and we'll go like on Facebook Live. And it's fun because it gives the residents time to write. It isn't a little delay of the comments and stuff, but it gives us time to interact with the residents, and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's, what is it? Improvise, adapt, and overcome, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's, there's a goal there to still have those events because there's a purpose behind that,
yeah.
But, creative way to get it done.
But too, it's fun too because like we don't just do it for, they say the adults in the community. We do it for, their kids. We have fun, like make, cute little snowflakes in the office, or, we did puppuccinos, thanks Starbucks, in the office with a cute little cup, whipped cream, and a little teeny bone on top. Amazon, get it. It's good. But, it's fun. But you just gotta, as a property manager, leasing agent, one of the greatest things that was told to me is know your asset. So you kind of find what works best and you cater to that. So if you have a lot of, fur babies on the community, puppuccinos will be your jam. If you have a lot of kids on the property, snacks on Fridays, those kind of things. If you have, more adults, the wind down Wednesdays or Thirsty Thursdays, or, if you're like me, I like the sweet treats Monday. I'm just kidding. It's Fitness Friday.
Well, yeah, I guess. And if you don't know, or, you don't know which one of those types is going to be best, throw them all out there and, see what attends. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank, and sometimes they come out with like the dumbest idea, but then the sales are through the roof, and they're like, well, I mean, that speaks for itself. So
was it like the cat liquor one?
No, there's some crazy stuff, but it's it's what are your sales?
Yeah.
And, or you might have a great idea and you think it's a great idea and I think it's a great idea, but nobody comes because they don't think it's a great idea.
What's good too is, the world is obviously evolving and getting more technology involved, and you can do polls now on Facebook. You can send out surveys through your community. Like, what events would you like to see? We do like town halls too. So we go over, of course, like rules, policies, expectations, but then we're like, hey, so what's some of the fun stuff y'all want to see? What are some of your favorite food trucks? And like you kind of do that. We also use a fun app named Relevant, and it's kind of like for the residents to get to know each other and kind of like have that community neighborhood vibe too. I think it's like Nextdoor or something's like a similar app.
Oh yeah.
But Relevant's awesome, and so all the residents, the teams can interact on it. But it's a good way if like, someone say they're moving out and they're like, hey, I got some free jerseys. Who wants them? And stuff like that. But it also helps them too. So I can be like, hey, food truck, what's some food trucks you guys really liked? And I will try to bring them.
How often you guys do the food trucks? Is that like a weekly thing?
We
or-
definitely do weekly.
wow.
That is a huge hit for us. I mean, who likes doing dishes?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have dishwashers in our communities, but who wants to put them in there or put them away?
Do you find that you have better success with lunch or dinner?
Dinner. Yeah, dinner's
People are home.
huge. But on the weekends, I would definitely say like the coffee trucks and the mini donuts and stuff like that is a huge hit.
Is there a margarita truck?
I don't think so.
Well, we started a podcast. We can start a food truck.
I'm down. I got the tacos.
The food. You said you do town halls too. I think that's a
Yes.
cool idea. I mean, I've seen a lot of properties do newsletters and things like that. How often do you do the town hall?
Well, it definitely depends on what's going on, but we like to at least do them annually. And then if fitted, we'll fit them in if it needs to be quarterly, just based on what's going on. So usually we head them out like right before the spring, right before, everybody wants to come to the pools. 'Cause pools are a fun place. Oh, yeah. So it's nice, you get your courtesy officer involved if you have one, and you just kind of go over, and it's good because, they can ask us questions and ask the officer questions.
Well, as a maintenance guy, we used to have like a little maintenance corner in the newsletter, and I would love to, I feel like my sarcasm didn't fully come through in that. So to do it in person and look the residents in the eye and say, if you get up in the morning at 8 o'clock and your milk is warm, don't go to work and think it's going to get better, and then call me at 6 o'clock because your whole fridge is warm.
So it's not going to get colder?
That's not okay. The air conditioner, same thing. If it's Friday and you leave for work in the morning and it's kind of warm in your apartment,
Yes.
don't wait till you get back at 6 o'clock on a Friday to call me.
Or that leak. Oh, I saw a couple drips, but I figured it was going to stop leaking on it.
Yeah,
so
or
I stuck my bubble gum under it.
You're out of dishwasher detergent, so you use regular dish soap in the dishwasher, and I don't know where all the bubbles came from.
No idea.
Yeah, I feel like we used to put that in the newsletter, and it was like a monthly thing, and I feel like most people didn't read it anyways. But
Garbage disposals.
well,
that's the hard part is like, I know it says garbage disposal, but really don't put nothing down there.
Well, so one of my favorite early on as a maintenance guy, I took a class, and there was an older guy, real seasoned maintenance guy in the class, and I forget how it came up, but he said, one of the best work orders he ever got was that his bone crusher was broken. Like, your bone crusher? Well, so of course it was the garbage disposal, and it was because they were putting a bunch of bones in it, which we tell them not to do. But there's one out there now that the brand of it is called Bone Crusher. And like part of me wants to grab like the top like 4 or 5 garbage disposals and go out in the garage and film one of these things where we put the bones, the shot glasses, the fish tank rocks.
Yes.
Let's put all the stuff you're not supposed to in and see which one still works at the end of that.
Yep.
I mean,
well, and that's another thing we do on the social media, kind of circling back, is we like to do like maintenance tips too. So like I've done some fun videos where, we take what calls we've had the most that month. And we're like, okay, let's make a video out of it. So for instance, the garbage disposal was one. I was sticking chicken bones down the garbage disposal, and my maintenance supervisor was able to save the day and fix the garbage disposal for me, or changing out that water filter or AC filter. So those videos are too great to use when doing things, because a lot of people don't really read emails anymore.
Yeah.
They are on their phones on social media. So if you follow me, guess what? You're going to see my bone crusher video.
Well, it's funny because I took a marketing class a few years ago, and I feel like that's even outdated at this point. But they say emails, you get about 2 swipes. Yeah. After 2 swipes, they're not reading anymore. Obviously, the videos were better, but the shorter, the better. Mm-hmm. And I mean, TikTok has proven that. Mm-hmm. I think, and going back to the social media piece, I mean, obviously the Facebook, Instagram are obvious. But I was reading something, I think it was just last week, that TikTok passed Google for the total number of users. So more people are using TikTok than Google right now.
Well, I've done a few TikToks with some of my maintenance guys, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good time. I haven't done any crazy.
I'm still learning.
I'm not much of a dancer. So, we have a TikTok, and, we will be on TikTok. This will probably be a TikTok. I try to pull like 30-second or 60-second clips out of these, and I put them everywhere. But I mean, Facebook's getting into the short videos now. Instagram has, Reels? Yep. YouTube Shorts or 30-second videos. Everybody's realizing that that's catching on. So, but it's short,
Well, that's why I feel like too, sometimes interaction on those stories get a lot of engagement too, besides just the post. Like when you do a post, that's great, but add it to your story too, and like make it fun, add those little cool gifs to it and stuff like that, because I feel like that juvenates a lot of attention that way too.
I feel like I could have had a lot of fun with it, because I mean, we used to give out air filters when you'd pay your rent, and then someone moves out and there's like 10 brand new air filters in the closet and one with like 12 inches of dust on it.
Same thing with like,
that's a TikTok. Like, pull it out, put it in. How hard is that?
And you can add like some fun music behind it.
Yeah, I feel like I could have had fun with that kind of thing.
Same thing with your dryers, like pulling out the dryer vent.
Oh, the dryer. Wait, you have to do that? You're supposed to clean the lint out of the dryer?
Sometimes, only if you see smoke.
Those are, so in some of the groups on Facebook, those are some of my favorite ones, is when they're like, you know, oh, got a work order. Got a work order, my dryer's not working. And then, yeah, they show everything they're pulling out. It's like, man, wait, I was supposed to do that?
Sometimes I'm like, and then the whole quilt comes out.
Man, yeah, it's dishwashers are a favorite of mine, because you know, most apartments have kind of that real low end dishwasher, and the expectation versus the reality is interesting. And that's another one. I want to see if I can get somebody from like GE to come on, and we'll talk appliances, dishwashers, that sort of thing. So GE, if you're listening. I don't know if that'll work. We tried that with Ryan Reynolds, and he hasn't responded yet.
Well, I am the female version.
Of Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a female version.
That's me.
Do you have a Deadpool suit? Some swords?
Only when I'm on property. Oh. Just kidding.
I expect to see a Deadpool-related touring video on your social media soon.
I might have to get a onesie. I mean, I think they're coming out with a new video soon.
Oh, man. God, the social media piece is big. Like I said, I think I follow a lot of the communities because we get invites to follow them all, and I'd say that, you know, some of the ones you guys post are the most entertaining. Any final advice or anything on that, or you know?
Well, I mean, of course, talk to your upper management, see what their taste is first.
Don't get boring.
Oh, just kidding. Don't go all in.
You're right. I mean, look, don't do something that's going to get you fired.
Correct.
So, yes.
Play nice in the sandbox.
But can have fun and be entertaining. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I could have had fun with some of the maintenance tips in 30 seconds or less in a video format. But yeah, I definitely need to get those approved before I posted some of them.
Yeah, that's all the important part. It's just make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, don't get fired. All right.
No, don't do it.
All right.
Not because your friends are doing it.
I kind of wonder how that interview would go when you just got fired for posting the crazy TikTok on the property and you're interviewing with somebody else. Why are you looking for a job? Well, I'm
sure it's happened.
Are you familiar with TikTok?
I wouldn't put it past this industry. I'm sure it's happened. It might be happening now as we speak. Someone's getting the talk.
Yeah, maybe. So to get creepy, I saw that you posted something yesterday about smart upgrades in apartments. You're looking for ideas on that. That seems creepy. So I read all those boards. And I feel like that's something fun to talk about. And I'll kind of start it with a personal story, because the new construction property I worked at right before I came to where I am now, HD Supply, for those of you that haven't looked it up, we had a programmable thermostat in there. Not like a Nest, nothing super fancy, but just enough where you could put a 5-day program for the weekdays and a 2-day program for the weekends. And at least half of the residents would call because they'd turn the temperature up to 70, and then an hour later it's like 52, and they're like, well, I haven't touched it. It's like, well, it's running the program.
Yes.
So something as simple as a thermostat where you put the program in was too confusing. We found a way to go in and turn that feature off, so that for some residents, turn it up, turn it down. That's all it does. For others, it does that. And so that is the challenge with all the smart home technology. I feel like it's a great amenity for the right resident. And so now it's a challenge. I mean, if you put it in every unit, you're going to create more problems and more work orders. But I feel like it's something that needs to be embraced and needs to be used. So how do you do that in a way that, you get the upside without the downside? And I think that's kind of where I didn't check responses this morning. I mean, you just posted it when I saw it.
Yeah. One of them was a very similar statement like what you were saying, that, it's going to be like teaching the residents how to use the technology, but too, on the flip side, hopefully, what it would do is beneficially hopefully save money for them too, on electricity and other, things in that matter. But I mean, I think in the long run, that's kind of the direction we all will be going with. Technology just keeps getting better and better and better. And I think, yes, it's going to be a learning process for everyone, but I think in the end game, it should make things easier.
So as a supplier, I mean, we talk about this a lot because people want it. And so there's a few approaches I've seen that kind of work in the different scenarios. And one is that, now that there's a lot of hard flooring and not a lot of carpet, it was common on renewal that we're going to give you a carpet clean for your renewal. Mm-hmm. That doesn't have a lot of value these days because there's either no carpet or there's very little carpet. And so we've seen some of that tech stuff become the renewal gift. Mm-hmm. If you renew, we'll give you the USB outlet, or we'll give you the smart thermostat, or whatever, kind of a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Even like the Google, whatever they call it, the
little Nest thing.
Yeah, the thing
or
you
the
talk
Alexa.
to. Yeah, but it's Google.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't use it. I don't know. They're listening. But I mean, those things are, relatively inexpensive,
yeah.
$30-$40. And so we'll see them do that. And then, like an outlet, a receptacle that you can turn on with it. Mm-hmm. So we've seen the renewal gift approach. We've also seen where people kind of put together the package. So a couple outlets, a couple light switches, the little Google Echo thing, ceiling fans that talk to that too. Even smart appliances, the Nest thermostats, all kind of put it as a package and then offer it, when someone's leasing, here's kind of the base mm-hmm. rate. And then if you want the smart home, it's an additional $150 a month. And it would take maintenance, an hour to go change that stuff out before someone moves in. So now not only are you making their life easier, but you're creating value for yourself, for the community. And getting a little something from it. And you're also able to weed out, because there are some people the people that know that they're not good mm-hmm. with the tech that wouldn't want it, say, no, I don't want that smart package. We'll just take the apartment as is.
I think that's a good idea. Brilliant.
I'd love to take credit for it. It's not mine. It's just,
But it's a great idea. Whoever did it, great idea.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's other good ideas out there for it too. I mean, those are the two that come to mind, that when I saw your post, rather than respond, I figured... Yeah. We could talk about it.
No, I'm definitely interested. If you guys are using it, have some word of advice, pros, cons, go to that share space on Facebook. Please respond. I am so intrigued to find out.
Have you dabbled in that stuff at all at any of the properties?
Not quite yet. I mean, we have some of the no-touch light switches, but...
Or like motion, like you walk by it. Okay, I'm like, what is it? Like you snap? Is it like
no, it's
magic?
No touch. You just whoop.
Okay.
You don't have to touch it. Darn it.
All right, I got it. I've just never seen it called a touchless light switch, or
Well, just like my new grounds guy today, he said, "Camy, I open up all the amenities."
Yeah, the seeing enemies.
I'm an enemy.
Yeah. God, there was something I was looking at not too long ago where it was, kids' names for like silly names kids come up with for things, like the raccoon being the trash panda, things like that. And I feel like, that's something we could probably do for property management, or like, common acronyms where people don't know what it was, so they came up with something ridiculous. I feel like those would be entertaining.
That would be fun. Start a post on that.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the smart home stuff is definitely a way that not just the industry, but life is going. But I think the key is going to be, getting that in front of the right person, because you put that stuff in front of the wrong mm-hmm. people, and you're creating more work orders.
Yeah. But essentially, with everything going up with price now in the nation that we're seeing the rises, if we can save, on our electricity and things like that, that would be a smart way to go about.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things we've seen too, and we actually did when I was a maintenance guy, is when a new resident would move in, their first day in, we would meet them at the apartment and we would do the checklist to make sure it gets done. And then we'd kind of give them little education on everything. Like, here's your fridge. Here's how to turn it up, turn it down. Here's how your thermostat works. That outlet there's on a light switch. So when it doesn't work, turn the switch on. Things like that. And I'll tell you what, so the genius idea I never thought of. The house we just bought, all of the outlets that are on a light switch are upside down. So, looking at it, hey, that one's upside down. It's because it works on a light switch. Oh. And so then when the resident calls and says, hey, my outlet doesn't work, it's never worked, it's broken. You're like, is it upside down? I'm like, yeah, it's on a light switch.
Switch it.
That's a really good idea. I don't know who thought of that, but again, that's especially in apartments. That is something they should do. Flip them over.
I like it.
I'm all about, reducing the work orders that can be reduced, because then you're free to make TikToks.
It's not really what we're going to do.
I don't see why not, right? If it's increasing retention and driving
100%.
Traffic, it's beneficial.
Well, and two, our maintenance is really the core of our property. They start from the curb appeal, turning the units, helping with the work orders. They are just as important as anybody else. They are out there sweating or freezing, Florida cold freezing. Yeah. But, when it is Florida cold freezing, still pressure washing, renew coating. They're out there busting their heinies off. Kudos to them. I am a very, hands-on manager. There's no job that I won't do. So when we're short-staffed, to me, that is not an excuse. I get so excited when I get to pressure wash. It's great. I get my maintenance shirt on, I get a hat, and I feel like I'm an undercover boss. And all the residents are just looking oh, they got a girl maintenance. I'm yeah. And I'm out there scrubbing and pressure washing. It is so much fun. So but it's, my body hurts.
Yeah, there are a few things
I drink again afterwards. But it makes you appreciate so much what they do. They are truly, truly amazing. All the way from grounds all the way up. We couldn't do anything without them.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the study redone, but shortly after I came in the industry, there's a study, and it was the number one reason why residents renew or don't renew is maintenance.
Oh yeah.
So you figure a lot of times they see the maintenance guys more often than they see anybody.
Yep. And the fur babies get excited when the maintenance guy comes over to fix something, or you're riding on the golf cart and they wave to the resident. It's I don't think sometimes some of them realize how important they really are. They need to. Take a deep whiff.
If you don't wave to everybody when you're on site, you're doing something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to know everybody, but wave to everybody.
No, just be happy.
You don't even know who they are, just wave.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Pizza man, hey!
Yeah, you're waving strangers.
Hey, that could be your next resident. They'd be
That's
like,
it.
you know what? That maintenance guy that waved to me. I was delivering my Papa John's Shack pizza, and he waved to me.
Well, we used to keep dog treats on the golf cart, too. So if you saw somebody walking a dog, you could,
I like that.
Of course, ask permission first, because some dogs have allergies and stuff. But
sensitive tummies.
Give them a little milk bone.
Yeah, and then, I like that.
It helps, too, if you end up having to do a work order with that animal in there that, they kind of know you.
Where's my treat at?
Yeah, well, and again, it's on the golf cart, so it helps you get in, for those, if there's an emergency situation and, there's a pet loose in an apartment and you can't get in, it kind of builds that relationship and helps you in.
I'm stealing that. I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe keep some whipped cream, make a puppuccino out of it.
Hey, there's always room for improvement on every idea, and that is an old one. That was one when I started as a groundskeeper. It was that property that we did it and carried it to every property I ever worked at. It's worthwhile. Like I said, there's a few dogs that the owners won't allow it, but outside of that, again, it helps you build that relationship with the owner. If you ever needed to get in that unit, for there's a leak upstairs or something, and no one's home.
Oh yeah.
Or better yet, there's a leak in that unit and no one's home.
Well, I feel like fur babies are part of the retention too, because you can use that too. If I call someone hey Sally Sue, Max said that you're thinking about putting in your notice. He's gonna miss that dog pool. You're not gonna find a dog pool anywhere else. And Max loves come getting snuggles from us. So you kind of use their babies as trigger points.
So I'll tell you the downside is that when I would do work orders and no one was home but the animal that I would break out my maintenance mania skills and do the work order super fast so that I could play with the dog for like 10 minutes.
Life goals.
So if I'm in the apartment for 15 minutes, that's a fair amount of time for the work order. No one knows I spent 2 minutes doing the work order and 13 minutes playing with the dog.
Oh, yeah. No, when a dog comes in the office, I'm the first one to go on the ground. I'm like, come here, you're so fluffy. Let me love you. No, for real. And then they make fun of me because I have like baby voice. I didn't even talk like that to my daughter. But I'm like, oh, you just your baby. Yes, you are. Come here. Meanwhile, I'm yelling at my kid to get her basketballs out of my kitchen.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's the little things, and you know that's something that matters to a resident, and you know it's adds to that fun environment, and again, resident retention kind of being the name of the game.
Important name of the game.
Yeah, so I guess for those who don't know, you're at some fairly new, very luxury communities. Have been kind of the last few for you.
Yeah.
Any crazy awesome amenities? Any amenities that you think would be awesome to see in the future?
Like I said, fur babies are a lot of key to everyone's hearts. So, the dog parks are huge, but the dog pool that we have is phenomenal. It's not for humans. It's for the fur babies. So please don't go swimming in it. But no, I definitely think that is a huge asset to our community, both for the parents that maybe have that new golden puppy that has zoomies that can't be in their apartment because they're getting a noise complaint. That is a great spot for them to just go shoom, 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 splash.
The zoomies, I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have the amenity conversation a lot. The older properties are always looking for things to kind of renovate into and add. And I mean, I guess if you got some green space on the property, a dog park.
Yep.
Whether it's just a fence and a bunch of grass, or it's obstacles and a pool and all that, or somewhere in between.
No, and I definitely seen too, like a lot of like the conference rooms, mini business centers, just because a lot of us, especially through COVID, have had to work from home. So sometimes home may not be the bestest place. Maybe you have somebody else working from home too in your house, and you need some quiet because you're about to jump on a Zoom meeting. So those conference areas are fantastic to have. And it's a nice little getaway, too, if your kids are acting crazy and you're like, hey, mom's got to take a call. And we go up to the office.
Do you guys, rent those out for money, or it's just kind of there to use?
It's first come, first serve for our community. Works great. Haven't had any issues. We also have a regular, business center, too, that has about 4 computers, printers, all that good stuff. They can copy, all that stuff. So that helps out as well. But then they have the conference room on there too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that with Sonny, that the kind of that work from home model that you're seeing some of that kind of shared office space kind of play out in the office. And I mean, it's common professionally too now. I mean, there are strip malls with the space that is nothing but cubicles and offices inside, and you rent them out.
Yep. No. Oh shit! What was I gonna say?
Shit, apparently, is what you were going to say. So we took care of the cussing part on the podcast. I told you early that was okay, and it is.
Well, is it really a bad word, though?
Well, I guess it's a matter of perspective.
So many different meanings.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so for me, when it comes to language on the podcast, on the one hand, I'd like that if somewhere, people put this on in the office and listen to it, in the office while they're at work. But that's the downside, is that, you can't have a prospect walk in with a kid and, somebody drops an F-bomb. But on the other hand, I also want this to be, real and natural. And, if
people can relate to it, because
that's how you feel, you should express yourself in the moment and go for it.
I really want to drop them, but I'm not.
Find that list of the words. I think it's like the 7 words you can't say on TV or radio or whatever it was. I gotta find that.
You should add it to the contract.
We'll do. No, I mean, to say them all. We'll work them all into the conversation.
Well, then we need a redo.
God, so Kelly ended up on. She's on local TV for. They won best yoga studio in Jacksonville for I think the 5th year in a row. which is amazing for them and for her. I mean, she's done a lot with it, but she was real nervous getting into it. And I was like, look, if you've ever seen Super Troopers, right? They pull that guy over and he's got to say meow like 7 times. I'm like, I just need one, just bark, just one. She didn't do it.
No, of course she didn't.
Come on.
Look, your wife was like my mentor growing up. She was on varsity cheerleading squad while I was a little fresh meat JV, and she was like my big inspiration. So I know she didn't bark.
I was hopeful, and I don't know, maybe it made things worse, but it would have been fun. I mean,
now I'm just gonna think about barking the whole time.
Can work it in. Like,
you want a puppuccino?
Just pretend you sneezed or something. No. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's important to have fun, especially when you're nervous. And I don't know. I wonder if people do that on like leasing tours. They shouldn't. Shouldn't at all. But
I mean,
I feel like younger me would do something like that.
You mean it's not okay if a resident's yelling at you and you ask if you've ever been in an earthquake in Florida and you start shaking the chair? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I do know how to survive an earthquake. I don't remember what movie I heard this in, but you're supposed to get in a doorway, put your head between your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye.
I think that's how tornadoes work, too.
Yeah, I mean, in Florida, there's nothing you're going to do about that. But, yeah, places where they happen regularly, get to the shelter. There's Okay, well, I mean, any final words of wisdom? Any other things that you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. Do you have anything you would talk about?
I mean, we covered everything that was in my notes, but I mean, it's like I said, it's just a conversation. I know if I pop by the property and sit in the office, we'd sit for an hour talking about random stuff. So.
But there are these.
I feel like I know it gets weird with the lights and the microphones and the headsets and all that. Maybe I'll start wearing them and bringing the light with me when I go on calls.
Do you imagine like you just show up at my property with this? People are touring. They're like, "Is the news channel here?"
Well, and I mean, we experienced this. So I had you scheduled to come on, and some things kind of happened, and we bumped you. And that's happened a few times with a few different people. And I feel like it'd be easier if I went on site to do it. But I know if we sat in the conference room at different properties, that the sound isn't as good. Something would happen and somebody's coming in, and so there's a lot of downsides to that. I toyed with the idea of like, you get one of them like vans and set it up as like an office inside.
Creeper van.
Exactly. Step into my van.
Do you imagine
It's a little weird.
Miss Bermudez.
Yeah.
We were walking Sparky, and we see this white van with tinted windows parked in front of the office.
Yeah. So I've toyed around with ideas. Most of them bad, but
No, I think this is a good spot. This is good. It keeps us from our attention too, from not being on the property if something pops off.
That's right.
And I'm like, hey, we're in the middle, and I gotta go run and.
But the other piece to help with the nerves too would be nice, and I still haven't figured it out. But to have a drink, have some.
After
tequila
hours,
with a splash of margaritas.
Yeah, after hours.
And then location.
Have you ever had a splash of margarita with Terrawada and walk 3 flights of stairs?
So I'm not allowed to make margaritas anymore. When my 4-year-old turned 5, she's a June baby, and so we had a pool party. And I made margaritas in like one of those big dispensers.
Oh, no.
So normally. We'll do 2 shots of tequila and 1 shot, so a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And so I did the math, and I poured like whole bottles in. People blacked out. Everybody was too drunk.
So how many babies were celebrating that following?
Yeah, so
April.
I don't know if I screwed up the math or if people just drank way too much. But it was, my 5-year-old's birthday.
Say it was a success.
And so, now if I make margaritas, nobody wants them anymore.
So what was the theme of the birthday?
There's no more trust. Drunk. No. So Kelly's best friend got married a while back, and I made this like cart to do like a flower cart on. And so now that cart has become like the event cart. And so... at that birthday, we did like ice cream on the cart. So it was like an ice cream cart and, just summer birthday themed stuff. And for the grown-ups, margaritas. Now no one drinks my margaritas. I don't know. I'll share the recipe. Since we haven't really talked about what I drink, it's not margaritas, but
what do you
for
drink?
Kelly, a lot of times it's margaritas. And we'll get, I forget what the mix that we use. I picture the bottle, but it's the mix is important. You can't use trash.
No.
And then don't follow the recipe because it's boring.
No.
Or a 2-to-1 kind of, or 1-to-1. I think it's 1-to-1. So I think it normally calls for 2 ounces of mix and 1 ounce of tequila, and we do 2 and 2.
I think you should just pour to your
ratio.
taste.
That's the key.
Yeah, just pour till you like it.
Well, the splash is a little aggressive. That's not where don't give me tequila with a splash of mix, but equal parts.
Have you had the Rock's Terramana yet?
That's what we use. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
okay.
It's affordable
Dwayne
and
Rock
delicious.
Johnson.
Yeah.
We should get him on. Sorry, Ryan Reynolds. Dwayne Rock Johnson, baby.
Hey, whoever messages me first, we can be sponsored by
Well, in that case, Gardner
tequila
Minshew.
or some gin. He's got booze too? No?
He's just got a stash. We can get a stash with a beard.
I could shave all the beard and just have a stash, but I'd probably be divorced too. So
Don't do that to Kelly.
So TikToks that I don't make. Not even last year, early in quarantine, when all the COVID stuff first started, 2020, I stopped shaving altogether, kind of like what I did now. But it got to a point where I needed to do something. I was going to trim it back down to the stubble look, and so I took that "Bored in the House" song from TikTok, and I shaved it in different phases. Shaved it down to the chin strap, and then just the goatee, and just the mustache, and the Hulk mustache, and it was it was all those. Yeah, so I still have that, but I never posted it.
I need to see this.
I guess maybe I can post it. I'll put it on
Totally
TikTok. I'll put it on this the property management makes me drink TikTok. But yeah, that was, and I had hair back then too, although it was falling out.
Yeah.
So I shaved it.
Well, have you ever asked the viewers what would they like us to talk about, or you to talk about?
So there's a quiz, not a quiz, right? It's a quiz.
That's why no one does it.
What was Camy's favorite drink? No, there's a question that comes up, but it's only at the end of the Spotify one.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll put that there. It's open for comments anywhere that it's posted, but no one's given me anything. So there's that.
You guys got homework. No quizzes, just homework.
That's right. And then you need to find a way to drink on these things. Personally, it would be like a Manhattan or an old fashioned. I'm a whiskey kind of guy.
Are you gonna do the nice glass round ice balls in it?
So those are hard to do. I have the square ones because they just go in the mold. The round molds never turn out round for me and leak all over the freezer. So and then there's this real expensive thing that's $800 that turns a cube into a ball. Yeah, it's all copper and it's cool to watch. TikTok, it's cool to watch. But it makes a perfect cube. But I don't have that kind of patience. I want to drink it. Yeah. So I have the big square ones.
Hence
the cube.
The splash of margarita mix.
Yeah. So the secret recipe for the margarita, and I'll post the mix. Not that I get credit for it, but the mix matters, and ignore the recipe. The 1-to-1 ratio, equal parts mix and tequila, unless you're having a birthday party for a small child. Not a great ratio. Or do better math. I still don't know where I went wrong. Maybe we'll try again. I don't know.
Maybe if someone went behind you and added more.
No, I used it all. There was nothing left. And then that's what they're all saying. Well, we saw you pouring the whole bottle of tequila in. I'm like, yeah, before that I put 2 whole bottles of mix in. You missed that part? I mean, I wasn't just trying to get everybody.
Did you really, though?
I wasn't trying to get everybody drunk. I mean, I did the math, but it doesn't help that the mix comes in a different size bottle than the tequila.
Could have been the heat.
So,
yeah. Could have been heat. Let's blame the sun.
I was sober when I did the math because I bought it a few days prior. But again, maybe I didn't double check it, so maybe I forgot to carry one or something. I don't know.
I see it. Everybody seems like they had a good time.
But I stand by it. If it's just for you and you're just hanging out, 1-to-1 ratio is the way to go. Final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you coming on. I know you're nervous.
We'll have to do it again when
when we
we
can
do
drink.
it after hours.
Yes, we gotta
Yes.
set that up somehow.
And you might get a little bit more shit words.
Just got to get the blessing to share some stories if we're going to get the alcohol involved, because I don't think anybody's holding anything back when the alcohol's involved. So,
Well, there's just not enough time to tell these stories.
there is not.
We're
There
in
is
property
not.
management. They really should make a sitcom of like a reality show about a life of a property manager. I'd be more than happy to star in that. I can reenact both on the all parts.
I want to say they did a reality show at one point, but they managed. They were like trailers. I feel like it goes back quite a few years.
Was it Trailer Shores? I'm just kidding.
I forget the name of it, but I think it was a guy that owned and managed several trailers, and they'd follow him around doing work orders and talking to residents about rent and that kind of stuff. And
Is that King of the Hill? I'm just
no,
kidding.
it was not a cartoon. It was real, but yeah, I mean, done right, I think it would be entertaining. But like for this, I can market it just to people in the industry, and
Yep.
of course they'd like it. The average Joe doesn't care about what we just talked about, and the average Joe isn't listening to this stuff
Let's
or
see.
watching that
Yeah.
show even. I don't know that it's entertaining enough for everyone, but if you're in the industry and you've lived it, some of the stories and just the experience.
If somebody was listening and they heard some of the stories, they would know that's about me.
Well, and that's the other piece too we talked about in the first podcast is, if the real media were to pick up any clip or any soundbite from any of these podcasts, I don't ever want it to be something that could hurt anybody, whether
No.
it be a person, a company, a property, any of that. So
Yeah.
I'll do my best to catch that stuff and edit it out. But I don't think it's happened. I don't think we've come across that quite yet.
Yeah.
So
Because some of
hopefully
these
we don't.
stories are, they hear and be like, oh, God, that was my kid, or oh, God, that was me.
Yeah, and so if this is the first one that somehow you stumbled into, I suggest you go back and watch Sonny's, because he has my favorite industry story.
That was crazy.
Partially, I mean, I worked with him when that happened, and so that one is like stuck in my mind. I know there's probably stuff out there that's even
He's a hero.
crazier, but
he's a hero.
That
was crazy. I watched it, and
That's
I
one I'll
got
never
goosies.
forget.
Like when I heard, I was like, like you just saved someone's life.
Yeah. Yep. It's yeah. I mean, we can get into the maintenance side of that too for after the fact. I mean, there's there was a lot there, but yeah. So if somehow you stumbled into this one and you haven't watched the others, first go back and watch them all. But if
And that's
you
why
want
they
to
say in
dabble,
property management you wear tons of hats. I mean, I can't tell you, not at the current place I'm, or the company I'm with, but in prior companies, there's been times where, kids are drowning in the pool, you have to jump in, do CPR. I definitely recommend property management groups allowing their teams to do CPR because it is very beneficial, especially pools are like a hot commodity to have. But I mean, there's a lot of those that you don't realize it's going to happen, and it happens, and everybody freaks out, and you have to just jump in and.
yeah, I mean, of course, understand your company's rules, but at the same time, if it's me and I know CPR or whatever it is that's going to help that person, I'd rather be unemployed with them alive than
that's why
follow
I said
company
get
policy.
licensed, get your CPR license. I'm very lucky and blessed to work for a company that actually got us to get ours, so I am certified. I know I take everybody's breath away, but now I can bring it back.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like as a human being, that's something that everybody should know.
Because it's great because you can use it at home or if you're in a restaurant or something, because they also toss like the Heimlich and everything else, especially you never know, you're at an event, someone chokes on the taco carts, you got to save their life.
Tacos, that's what we should have had. We should have had tacos for this.
Oh, well.
I know.
Tacos and margaritas.
I didn't think of it.
Let's talk about it next time.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I did not. Man, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we could have done tacos.
There's a Taco Bell right up the street.
Sorry, I'm not going back to work. Maintenance.
The nacho cheese, the Doritos Loco Tacos.
That was my daughter's favorite.
Taco Bell probably doesn't even really count as tacos, but that taco. Just saying. All right. Well, look, I appreciate you taking the time. I know we played tag a little bit to make this happen. So, I appreciate you coming on out, and we'll do it again.
Well, thank you for having me, and everybody make sure that you get involved in the industry, whether it's Next Gen or finding a community that works best for you. But get involved, be the voice, be the highlighter in the crayon box, and help make a difference in our industry. And remember, our residents are the reason why we're here, so love them all.
That was beautiful. Did you rehearse
and
that?
And drink! Afterwards.